Hey, thanks so much for clicking on this video and welcome to the Haves and the Have-Nots review here on YouTube. If you're a fan of Tyler Perry, you've come to the right place. Be sure to click that subscribe button as well as the bell notification icon. That way you don't miss out on any new content on the channel. And also check me out on these social media platforms, and links in the description below will lead you to my Twitter, Instagram, Facebook group, and Facebook page. Once again, thanks for joining in and enjoy the video. All right, Have and Have Not fans, I want to be completely honest here. I have several videos to get done before next Tuesday, and I am actually pretty happy the show's going on break. I feel like I'm speaking for a lot of people here when I say that it's a good thing due to the fact that, well, the committee, I'm sorry, I still have a video to do about why the episode was so bad, and that is coming. But I think because of the hype of Nobody's Fool, all the interviews that Tyler Perry and the cast have been doing, and yes, it is Saturday and there are still a crap ton of interviews I haven't even watched yet. I did watch the movie on Friday. My video review's up. Really enjoyed it. I mean, it's one of those movies where I wouldn't even call it nitpicks, but I just say that some scenes and character development was needed in order to flesh out the story more. But overall, I had a good time watching it, and that's really what it was about. Like, I wasn't walking in thinking, oh, this is going to be an Oscar-winning film. No. I was just going to a movie for a few laughs, and I actually got way more than I expected. So, have and have nots, these videos, man, I'm just looking at the list and like, man, I got to talk about this stuff now because there's so much other content Tyler Perry affiliated that I want to talk about, and I will, but that's a good thing. With the episode coming on Tuesday, the season being over, I don't feel as pressured to get X amount of videos out before next Tuesday. I can really, focus more, work on a podcast that is in development, folks. I'm really excited about that. But to jump into this video, we're talking about, is Hanna really kicking Benny out of the house? And a couple things with that. Number one, I could see Hanna being fed up with everything in regards to Benny acting like a, dumbass and not signing the paper because he didn't give back the money. And I already did a video about what would you do with the money, so I'm not really going to get into the whole situation with that. But a couple questions. I don't really think it's going to go anywhere in terms of Benny on the street. I think that's a bad idea because, as history on this show has taught us, every time that Hanna and Benny get into some kind of big argument or fight, usually means Benny's going to get effed up in some way or another. The biggest example is season 1, after finding out that Tony was his real father, and Hanna didn't tell him. He left the house in a rage. Well, not a rage, but just not wanting to talk with his mom. Went to go get a tow, and that's how he got hit, left in the streets by Wyatt to die. And yeah, kind of sucks. But because in the last episode, when she was walking around the house with Derek behind her, just putting stuff in the box, I was under the assumption she was just packing up her stuff, ready to get out of the house by the end of the month, as she had told Catherine. But yeah, the fact that it's all Benny's things, he comes in the house the next episode, is like, what? You kicking me out? All this stuff is mine in the box? What's going on here? Really reminds me of season 1 when the mortgage on the house, because Benny took out a mortgage to help Candace out, and then that almost meant that Hanna and Benny lost their house. Remember, season 1, before Quincy drove into it and caused an explosion. But, Hanna was walking around packing stuff up. Wow, this is like the third house that Hannah's possibly moving out of. She was getting ready to move out of her first house in season 1 due to possibly losing it due to the mortgage. Then a couple seasons later, she was packing up her stuff to move out of Benny's house before the bank foreclosed on it. And now in this scenario, she's trying to move out of his condominium due to the whole crier situation, but really has nowhere to go. I mean, one could argue that she would just be offered to stay with Derek, which I don't see that not happening, but yeah, it's kind of weird. But the bigger question is, it's not so much about is she kicking Benny out, it's if she's still planning to move out of the house. Because to be completely honest, even if she kicked Benny out, number one, bad idea, because the Malones are looking for him. Where the hell is he going to go? Number two, even if Benny isn't in the house, the Malones will probably still come over there. And on top of that, Candace may send someone else to go after Hanna. Yes, she did tell Benny that she wouldn't do that anymore, but this is Candace we're talking about. But I feel like Jim might actually live up to his threat and send somebody if the money isn't back in the account at within the next 24 hours. It is possible. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know what. I think that she will either kick him out or Benny will leave the house upset. And then later on in the episode, that's when Mitch is going to call Hanna saying, "Miss Hanna, Benny's in trouble." I think that call will happen after Benny has left the house. Like, I don't know if he's just going to take his box and leave or what. I don't know. And let's see here. So Hanna left the car back at Catherine's house. And if I'm not mistaken, and I could be wrong, Benny does not have a vehicle. I mean, thinking back about this season, he doesn't have a vehicle. So if he does leave, he'll just be walking out of the house with the clothes on his back and the box that Hanna gave him with nowhere to go. And Mitch is at the bar, so we can assume that Benny does not have his vehicle. So where the hell is he going to go? And I've already done a video about, and this was a while back, about why Benny's still living with his mom. And, keep in mind, folks, I'm talking season 1 Benny, before coming out of the coma and life support, and that's when his mental state has been seriously altered. But keep in mind that he used to live away from his mother, but not too far down down the street or a couple blocks. But the only reason he moved back in was due to Hanna having breast cancer, pre-have and have not, season 1, episode 1. He ended up moving back in with her due to, obviously Hanna being sick, not being able to catch up on the bills and whatnot. So he moved back in to help her. And then, of course, they got the joint account, as he explained in the last episode. Him and his mom got the joint account after the situation of, the house almost being foreclosed on due to him taking out the mortgage to help Candace. Not really sure why they did that, though. I mean, I know that after Candace got the money from, Jim blackmailing him and ended up going to the bank to pay for the foreclosure to avoid it, Benny once again put the name of the house back into Hanna's and then gave her the documents and whatnot, because I remember at the time she actually put the name of the house over to Benny. We saw how that ended up, and then he ended up giving back to her. So there was that. But I don't really know what's going to happen. I mean, he should have really just taken that money to buy the tow truck, or better yet, ask Veronica for it, because at the end of the day, yes, she is a devil, but remember, he did save her life. So there's that. And, oh, God, can you imagine after, the whole situation of walking in on him and Melissa on the couch, that she would probably have a hitman have the tow truck blow up? Ugh, she loves some fire. But in any case, folks, this video, really not so much about the subject as to whether or not Hanna will kick him out. It's kind of like talking about why Benny still lives with his mother to begin with. And it's kind of weird because people are talking about Benny needs to get off his butt and get a job. I am not against that. That is absolutely true. He just gets into too much shit. He should have just done as Benny said after he got the money that he told Benny not to borrow in the first place. Get the tow truck, go to work. But in this scenario, even though his mother has a job, getting great pay, is in a condominium that Catherine's paying for and already furnished and whatnot, then was driving a vehicle that Catherine just gave to her, she's just going to throw that away. And yes, I know the whole Jim scenario is very hard to stay in a situation where you're being threatened. So, but at the same time, it's kind of like this. Hannah's possibly going to kick Benny out. Where the hell is he going to go? And then Hannah's willing to just leave up out of this house and to quit her job and everything. Where the hell is she going to go? So I really don't even know how to answer this question, but let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What's going to happen to Benny? And keep in mind, he was on set for filming in season 7. It's really hard to debate whether or not characters will get killed off, because number one, we've seen them on set on social media a couple months ago filming, but at the same time, it's like, well, I don't know if I should really say certain characters won't die, because remember how slow the days go by on the haves and the have-nots, right? So a season could be 2 or 3 days. So by the time we get to season 7, it might be like next Wednesday when it's really only Thursday right now on the show. Just putting that in perspective. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and I'll talk to you all soon.